Greetings, beautiful ones, and welcome. This is Nazan in Mauritian, Love and Heart Art, where we deep dive into tools for empowerment and healing. In this week's episode, I want to talk about why upleveling your self-talk really matters. Self-talk is this continuous stream of thoughts and inner conversations that we engage in throughout the day. We all have it. It can be positive, empowering, and constructive, or it can be negative, limiting, and self-sabotaging. The crucial aspect of self-talk is that it is not just a passive reflection of our feelings. Self-talk actively shapes our beliefs and influences our behavior. And that's why upleveling our self-talk is very important, because of the influence it has across every facet of our lives, affecting our mental well-being, relationships, and professional pursuits. Negative self-talk can breed self-doubt, fuel this fear of failure, and hinder personal growth. And on the flip side, positive self-talk can foster resilience, boost our confidence, and serve as a catalyst for achievement. So upleveling self-talk is really important, because I have noticed of late that my self-talk has been a little bit on the negative, and the inner critic's voice seems to have been louder than usual. And this podcast is about how to step into personal power and how to use very simple practices to uplift and push you into the highest version of yourself. So for me, I decided to lean into this discomfort. My go-to method is avoidance of any, and all of us avoid anything that is difficult. That is our human nature, to ride the wave of the least resistance. But for this time, noticing my self-talk being so critical, so self-sabotaging, so negative, I thought, okay, well, let's lean in a little bit. In that process, some very painful truths and misguided illusions were revealed and consequently healed. So the process that I engaged with is that each day I would sit with the thoughts that were coming in, the thoughts that I was having about myself, and one by one unpicking them, letting the energy just move out of my body. And in this process, I really felt that the transformation that this exploration afforded me. Personal development and self-mastery is not an easy path, and in my solitude, the inner critic was the loudest. And this is where I discovered the power of self-talk to shape my attitude and belief system with sitting in the contrast. Sitting with the darkness allowed space for the light to get in. And noticing how that usually I'm very positive and uplifting towards myself, and really being in the shock of this experience, being in the shock of this darkness of the self-talk that was coming up, and looking at all facets, what I was eating, what I was drinking, how I was sleeping, what I was watching, and seeing if any of these had an influence. And this investigation then allowed me to really go deeper in. Why was I experiencing so much self-doubt, imposter syndrome, harsh self-criticism? Really like going in then allowed me to move out and up level the self-talk. And one of the key strategies for this, to cultivate a more positive outlook, was just to have that awareness and observe myself in these patterns without any judgment. And that was very important, because the more I judged myself as well, the deeper the rabbit holes spiral into oblivion. And opening up a more rational dialogue, disarm these negative and heavy thoughts. So I thought, what a great practice to share with you. Going in with awareness and non-judgment allowed a deeper sense of gentleness and then curiosity within myself. Going in without judgment, then I was able to challenge the self-talk and ask myself, well, is any of these thoughts based on any fact or truth? Or are they merely distorted perceptions? And in this empirical approach, I was able to fully let go and replace the self-talk that was not helpful at all with a more balanced and loving alternative. Because when you're going through big things in your life and transformations, that I am, every aspect of my life is being reorganized and shifted and moved. So there is this disarming feeling of not knowing what's next and being in the space of the unknown, which is scary. But in truth, that is every moment. That is the way in which life is. It is often a surprise. All we know is what has been and where we are right now. But what is to come is being shaped by how we think about ourselves. So I really needed to shift that. And another layer of practice, which I found very helpful, was talking to myself out loud. Because as I could hear my own voice outside of my head, I could replace these dark thoughts with more gentler ones and shift this negative into positive. And affirmations are amazing and super helpful. And so I would tell myself, it's okay to feel the feels, and all the problems will come with solutions. All I need to do is show up and trust that what is meant for me will never pass me by. I am worthy of all the wonderful experiences life has to offer me. I choose to be gentle with myself each day. And little by little, I challenged that I can't get through this, it's too hard, to I'm taking it one step at a time. So talking out loud is really simple and yet effective. And the most potent of all the strategies for up-leveling my self-talk was having compassion for myself and treating myself with the same kindness and understanding I would offer my best friend, and really challenge the inner critic voice and put it on mute. And that's why up-leveling self-talk really matters. It's simple practice of being in that state of awareness and non-judgment, shifting the dialogue, talking out loud, and cultivating gentleness. Because self-talk is not passive. It is actively creating our reality. It is the internal programming that is on 24/7, even in the subconscious mind. It's all running. So how to really reprogram it? Because the journey into self-discovery and transformation is challenging. And so how to overcome these challenges with gentleness, with love, with flow, with surrender, so that everything in life then aligns to that, is super important. Because how we think about ourselves creates the reality in which we live. It's like this domino effect, that the inner voice then creates how we feel, and how we feel is how we act, and how we act is how we behave, and how we behave becomes our character. And then suddenly we're this fixed person, and we carry this belief that, well, this is just who I am and how I am, and I can never change, and this is what it is. But if you go back to the source, and the source was how we spoke to ourselves, the thought, that was the seed planted, and changing that, then the inner critic's voice is only very, low in the volume, and it can be flipped so that life that we've come here to live is embraced with the power of pure potentiality, with the power of the light of the sun. And it can change every aspect of your life in an instant. Sometimes sitting with the inner critic for a short time and leaning into the darkness is what will get you back into the light. As paradoxical as that sounds, that has been my lived experience of late. And that's what I am learning each day, that as I up-level my self-talk, it becomes that key to unlocking a more fulfilling and empowered life. Well, I hope you found those practices helpful. So awareness with non-judgment, talking to yourself out loud with affirmations, and being gentle with yourself, being kind to yourself. Thank you. And wishing you a beautiful, magical day. You can get in touch with me on my social media, YouTube channel, Instagram, website. They're all my name, at Nazanin Marashian, Love and Heart. And until next time, beloveds, be gentle with yourself. You deserve it.